Hairstyles have always been a form of expression in America. In a way, it's one way that you can embrace your natural color or curl, or even try and experiment with a new luster or shade. In many regions, your hairstyle is a way to define you or the area that you belong to. But what many lack to take into account is that previously in the States and in all different parts of the world, that your hair or hair unit, in layman's terms, a wig, was determined his or her occupation, social class, or place in society. It's actually quite interesting the way that wigs have taken a turn in the centuries. It's gone from a place of wealth to a place of you're hiding from somebody or a joke and a part of your costume to now where it's kind of accepted. And as a woman who wears wigs very proudly, it actually makes me happy that now I can rock my different types of wigs and not have to go undergo scrutiny from it. So as we dive a little bit deeper into the significance of specific hair units and wigs and styles, we'll reveal that a wig means more than just another piece of your costume. Wigs and people of power are seen in history all over. Spiritual leaders, high-ranked officials would wear some form of artificial hair structure while performing their duties all across the world, starting from countries in Africa, Asia, traveling to Europe, and even entering the United States. Europeans and colonial bishops, clergymen, judges, lawyers, governors, and other leaders in the community were required to wear different types of hair pieces depending on their title. It didn't do anything to make their job any better. It just gave them that sense of respect and power that came with the position. There were specific types of wigs that were worn by each individual in charge. Campaign wigs in the military men in the 1600s of England, physical wigs by people with learned professions, and full bottom wigs, which are those white powdered ones that we've all come to love, that we see in the courtroom by judges and lawyers, as well as government officials. And American physicians, judges, lawyers were wearing wigs up until the 19th century. These few examples were found in the site historian and PhD Yvette Mahi's article, The History of Wigs, Perukes, as Fashion Attire on fashiontimes.org. I know personally, looking at history books and seeing the pictures of men in these wigs were comical, but at that time, having those wigs in the hands was not a joke. Getting to the place to be able to have that in their possession was far from one at all. But what was actually funny is how a wig was utilized afterwards in show business. Colin Farrell in Horrible Bosses, Will Ferrell in Zoolander, and Taylor Lautner in Twilight have all rocked their fair share of terrible wigs. But that was the point. Hollywood and even your at-home movies have used synthetic wigs to color and style hair in the funkiest ways to be able to create and develop any character of their choosing. Literally, the possibilities are endless and allows the creative director to be able to imagine the character in their head and be able to put them out and for the rest of the world to see. Different celebrities and people are able to change their hairstyles without having to change the hair coming from their scalp. It's also a sensation that has spread across the different races and no longer has a taboo associated with it. Many women and men are proud to share that they wear wigs and that they use them, and because of it, it gives them a chance to experiment with different colors, hair, textures, styles, and just be creative without having to damage their own hair. Wigs are a beautiful thing and is exactly why you will catch me in a wig 274 days out of the year. So what I wanted to now show you guys are the different types of wigs that are possible. So you have full wigs without a closure like this. So this is just a full wig that you just plop on your head. And then you have other wigs as such, which have something called a closure. So this is the closure. So what the closure does is that it allows it to simulate the hair coming from your scalp. I'm actually wearing a closure right now, so it makes it seem like you have a part, like your natural hair part, and then it just gives a portrayal that, oh, this hair is coming from their scalp because they have a part. You can see their scalp, can't you? That's what a closure is for. I also wanted to show you guys ways to make a wig. So all my wigs that I have been handmade. So what you do is that you start with a wig cap, which is this black part here. You'll pin it down to your base. So you take your base, you put the wig on top, okay, and you can kind of see the closure on here. And then you take your hook needle. It's a lot easier to use a hook needle because it's able to go under the weft and up and be able to do that hand motion opposed to using a straight needle. And then you want to use cotton thread, as you can see. This allows you to be able to hold the hair down and not have to worry about it snapping or falling off with a thinner thread. So what you do is that you thread your needle, okay, you thread your needle, and then take it with your wig. You find your piece. You go in. You make sure to avoid the weft. Go in, out, and you just do like a normal sewing motion. And that's it. You do that your whole way throughout the wig, and then you got your wig done, and you're good to go, and you're popping, okay? So the acceptance and utilization of wigs has grown in the past few years after several decades of ridicule and bad connotation being associated with the term. It has evolved from a bad toupee or a trash lacewant to a natural looking unit where you are literally having an internal debate with yourself, trying to figure out if this hair is coming from the person's scalp or if it's just a bomb wig. Hair units have transpired to different meanings throughout the century, going from high levels of status and wealth to desperation for those who have early balding, to humanizing ones following chemotherapy, to another form of just general expression of a human being. As the world continues to age and accept differences between us, I believe that the significance and history of wigs is far from over. Thank you.